Hello Willow class and welcome back to a new week. Today's date is Monday the 25th of January and we're starting a brand new learning journey this week. So we're going to be looking at this learning journey for the next 2 weeks, and you might have spotted something quite cute already that we're going to be thinking about. Very well done for your writing last week. It was absolutely fantastic and I can't wait to get started on our new learning journey today. Let's have a look at our new learning question. How important are, here we are, hedgehogs in the garden food chain? I've got a lovely, spiny, cute looking hedgehog here. We're going to explore our question in a bit more detail to find out what we're going to do. So, we are explorers as well this term, which works out really well because we're going to become scientists, and scientists have to be really good detectives. They've got to look closely at the world around them, think about what's going on and try to explain it to others. Let's have a look at our 3 circles to find out what we're going to be learning about in this learning journey. So our knowledge and skills. We're going to be scientists, so we're going to group things together in different ways. So we're going to look at sorting different things out. We're going to make careful observations about the world around us. We're going to compare the differences between living and non-living things. We're going to describe how animals get food from plants and other animals. And we're going to learn how to draw simple food chains. So we're going to be talking lots about that. Now our character, our value that we're going to be looking at is challenge, okay? And thinking about how when we try new things, a positive attitude really helps, okay? And we're going to be looking at metacognition, so our thinking tools. The thinking tool we're going to be using is something that you've probably seen up in your classroom in Willow class, and it's called the task wheel. And it looks like this. We're going to be doing lots of talking about it because we're going to use this to help us answer our learning journey question. Okay, so the task wheel stands for thinking actively, so that means really thinking hard in a social context. So we're going to be thinking hard about our question and we're going to be following each of these steps to try and answer it. Okay. So let's go back and have a look at our learning journey question. How important are hedgehogs in the garden food chain? So we're going to start this part of our wheel here, and I want to know what you already know about this. So what you already know maybe about hedgehogs, but for now we're going to think about what we already know as well about gardens and the sorts of plants and animals we might find living there. So your first job, okay, for our learning journey, and you've got 2 jobs today. The first job is going to be to draw a picture of a garden. It could be your garden, it could be your dream garden, okay, it could be a garden that you visited before. So to draw a picture of a garden or outdoor space if you don't have a garden of your own. So a picture of a garden or outdoor space like a park, and label what plants and animals you might find there. I've got some examples here. So you can see in this picture here that someone's drawn, they've got lots and lots of insects. So they've got butterflies, I can see a bumblebee, I can see a beetle, maybe it's a ladybug. Okay, I can see a sunflower here. You might be able to label some of these, or a fern. Okay, so see any plants or animals that you might find, or insects. Okay, here's another example. And I've put this example here. I wonder if you notice what is the difference between this example here, my last one, and these 2. Okay, you're right. This one here looks like it's in the season of winter. These ones look like they could be spring or summer, and it's a really exciting time of year right now because we're just about to move into spring. But at the moment, our trees and flowers, there aren't many flowers in our gardens at the moment, and definitely on the trees there's not many leaves. So you might draw your garden how it looks like now. It looks a little bit bare, But don't worry, there's lots and lots of life that's about to burst out very soon. So I'd like you to draw your garden, but don't forget to label it as to what you can see in your garden that you're going to draw. It doesn't have to be your garden, it can be an imaginary garden, but I want you to try and label it. So if there are trees, bushes, if there are certain birds, if there are insects, where are they in your garden? So that's your first job for today. So you might want to pause the video now and have a go at that. And then I've got a challenge for you. As we're explorers, we're going to get exploring today with a challenge. So play the video once you're ready for your challenge. Okay, here is your challenge for today. I would like you to go and explore and go on a scavenger hunt. So that's when you have to go and find some of these things. So it might be that you can't go straight away right now. It might be that you even go later on today or tomorrow or later on in the week. But I'd like you to have a go at this scavenger hunt. So you might find these in your garden, or you might, if you go on your walk with an adult, you might go and find these in a park. Or you might even be able to see some of these just from looking outside your window or just outside your door. So if you can't get out and go on a walk, don't worry, you might be able to see these from your window. Okay, how many of these can you find? So we've got berries. Okay, so we're not going to find really any edible berries at this time of year, okay, like blackberries. The berries you might find would only be berries that birds might eat, because humans can't eat them, they would make us quite poorly. So you might find some berries. You might find a robin if you're really quiet and a bit stealthy in your garden. You might find a robin or another small bird that you might want to write down for me. You might find some bare trees. You might find some evergreen trees. So we've got different trees that lose their leaves in the winter time, and coming into spring they burst back into life, or trees that are evergreen so they don't lose their leaves. So those are trees that look a bit like Christmas trees sometimes. Okay, you might see some holly. You might not see the berries left on there because the birds might have eaten them all, but you might see some holly. It might be a holly bush. You might see some pine cones. Hopefully you'll see a leaf or some leaves, maybe not on the trees but maybe elsewhere. Now I've put this one here. Can you find any tree buds? So like I said, if the trees are about to burst back into life, you might see those. You might have to look closely on some trees or some bushes, but you'll find those. You might see some snowdrops coming up. I saw some snowdrops on my walk this weekend. You might see some daffodils. They might not be burst into their, you might not see their petals, but you might see the shoots just starting to come up from the ground. You might see a spider's web. You might see some insects, a beetle or a ladybird. You might see a worm. I wonder in your garden where you might have to look to find those. Or a spider. Maybe you've got some grass. And if you're up early enough, you might see some frost. It was very cold over the weekend and there was actually a little bit of snow. I wonder if there's going to be any frost. Okay, so have a little think. I'll put a picture of this up on Dojo so you can print it off if you want and have a tick. And remember, if you don't do this today, it doesn't matter. You might be able to find another time in the week. And of course, I've put down here, what else can you find? You might be lucky enough to see a squirrel if you look carefully in a tree. You might see some other types of birds in the sky. I'm not sure. I can't wait to see what you can find in and around your garden, or when you go on a walk, or even just looking out of your window. You might be able to spot some birds in the trees, or maybe even some nests. They're easier to spot at this time of year because there's no leaves in the trees. So see what you can find and take some pictures and pop them onto Class Dojo. Okay everyone, well done for your hard work today, and I'll see you tomorrow to find out more about hedgehogs.